welcome to another amazing episode of Meet the Author. We have the amazing Holly, who has become such a dear friend to all of us, and we have James Bryant, who is the man behind the curtain. He's the wizard of Wildly Free. He became a best-selling author along with being a three-time best-selling publisher and editor. And this episode is all about Meet the best-selling author, Holly. So welcome, Holly. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, we want to capture your energy
Yes.
about what the last couple of weeks has been feeling like for you in terms of life being so crazy, so insane, but still showing up and becoming a best-selling author. How are you doing and how are you feeling about that?
Well, you said it. It's been wild, that's for sure. It's been exciting. I got my books. I got all my books. We have a lot of people who are interested and are ordering the books, so we're excited about that. Yeah, it's just wild is such a perfect word for it because honestly, I just never saw myself doing this, as you know. And I just feel like so much of what we're doing here is leaving such a big impact and a mark, and just the way I thought it was going to. The ripple effect of healing has been profound. It's not just about my story either. It's all the stories collectively have just been making a huge impact. So a lot of the people are reaching out and saying, my gosh, your book. And of course, we had some of the early readers, give their feedback too. So that's really powerful. But a lot of people are saying the same things, that they feel seen in the stories and that feel they're so real and raw and they're not these perfect polished stories. So I think that's why it got bestseller in the personal transformation category. So yeah, it's been wild. It's been wild trying to live the whole, daily lifestyle. Like I have my dogs in my crate and all the things, but trying to do all the normal things that we do in a day and then also publish a book and market it and share it with the world. So it's been wild. It's been exciting. So
Well, and that's why we call ourselves Wildly Free because we have so many lived experiences. And when we started this, we were like, it's just going to be a wildly free experience for all of us, learning the publishing space, learning the author space, learning the how to support others in becoming authors. And that's just, it's part of showing up authentically in life. And so do you have like a personal story of like somebody specifically reaching out, someone where you're like, whoa, I would have never thought that they would have been interested in my book. Do you have any one of those stories over? I mean, we just officially released it just a couple of days ago,
I
but
know.
do you have anything like that to share with us?
So, interestingly enough, I did have an experience recently where she literally just has the book now. So she's in the process of reading it. So I can't wait to connect with her later this week. But um, very unexpected, one of those things that just was meant, I feel very serendipitous. She said the same thing, but we hadn't seen each other in a really long time. And she was from my whole anesthesia world. So you have to read the story to understand a little bit more. But I left traditional healthcare. I left anesthesia to really dive into the world of natural wellness. So that was really a shock for many people that I worked with for many years. And so this was a person who I actually met through that. She actually was one of my mentors when I first became an anesthesia nurse. So it was really powerful to connect with her and to see some of the things that she's going through in her world. And I just happened to have my book with me that day because I was in a surgery center bringing another person for a surgery. And I said, I'm just going to bring my book because I should probably like look back at my story because I knew we were going to be doing these podcasts. And I had my book with me and I kept one that I actually didn't sign right. It was an imperfect book. So I was like, well, I'll just keep that one for myself. And while I was talking to her and she was sharing some of the pains that she's going through and some of the emotional stress that she's going through, I said, I think you should read my book. I think you need this book. So I actually gifted it to her, which I don't plan on just giving out books, but it just meant something. It was so powerful and it was just really awesome to reconnect with her. And she was just like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much." And she had no idea all this stuff was going on with me. So it was really cool to see it. I'm like, well, you just have to read it. So I don't want to tell you everything. So I'm excited to connect with her later this week about, what she thinks about it, because I think that this is something that a lot of the people that are in traditional healthcare are just not awake. They don't even know it exists, plants as medicine or that it can benefit you in more ways than just what I was thinking when I first became a nurse was, basically hospice or people that have basically pain that can't be treated with other things, So I had a very limited view of what plant medicine was all about. And so I think many people are like me that I know from my past. So it's really cool to see it rippling already through the world. So excited about it. Yeah.
I love how the power of storytelling creates new connections as well as reconnections.
Indeed, indeed.
Definitely. I already told her about Wildly Free too. I said, because she said, I'm writing a book. This was the other reason we connected. She said, I'm writing a book. And I said, well, I have a great publishing company I think you should connect with.
We really
So
appreciate that. And we're
I
finding that to
know.
be a theme in all of these podcasts. It's like you don't realize so many people are writing books, but they never go anywhere.
Yes.
Everybody
Yes.
has the desire to get their voice heard, but this space is such a scary, intimidating, business centered space. And that's why we do everything different and why we're heart centered in everything that we do and how we show up, because we felt like we needed to redefine publishing for people. So, with that, I mean,
Yeah, I love it. Love
there's
it.
so many things with that. So,
So Holly, I want you to think back.
Oh, you're on mute, James. I
we're
can
good.
hear you because I know you're with Rachelle.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Oh, good.
Um,
Okay.
so Holly, I want you to think back to 9 months ago. You were, if not the last, one of the last authors
She was the last.
that signed on.
She was the last.
We had set a date, I think, of July 31st, and here you were coming in August 1st or August 2nd, going, I think I need to do this. I'm feeling called to share my story. And here you are 9 months later or so, and you're a best-selling author. You've shared your story. You're reconnecting with people that you didn't think that you would connect with again, or at least connect in this level. And by the way, we carry around books and give them away for free too. You're not the only one. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
And how, like, if you thought back to Holly 9 months ago, or you think back to that person you were just connecting with that's thinking about writing their story, what's a piece of advice that you would give yourself 9 months ago about how you've transformed sharing your story like this?
I think that for me, I think a lot of what I talked about, even on our first podcast, and what I share in my story is that there were a couple of themes really, right? I was afraid of being judged and afraid that, people were going to see that I didn't have my shit together, right? That was kind of a big thing. And I still feel that way oftentimes in my life. But um, I think that the part of healing that's so unique that I know now that I didn't know then was that healing is not linear. We kind of all know that there's layers to it and all this stuff. And there is this mess and we're in the middle of it. So we don't want to share our story because we feel like we're such in that mess and it's not finished yet or we're not through it. And it's like you're never going to be through it. And I think that I would probably tell her it's okay, you're allowed to even feel healed in some aspects, but not even while you're still healing, I guess is the thing. Yes. You're allowed to feel healed while you're still healing. And I didn't know that. So for me, it was like, well, I'll wait until I'm healed and I've been through all of the mess that I'm in to then share. But now I know that that's not the point. The point is to share it from the mess, actually. And in fact, that's what I was sharing with someone that I was connecting with. It was just and more than just a person that I connected to this week. This has been months of people coming into my world that were obviously meant to connect with me again in the same kind of way, in that they want to share in small ways, whether it's writing a small blog or sharing on a podcast, or I know people who want to create platforms and want to create communities, and it's all the same story. It's the same thing. Well, I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. And that's so me. That's so me. I don't have anything figured out, but now I know. I would tell her, Holly, 9 months ago, that's the whole point. You're not supposed to have it figured out. People are going to relate to you much better when you haven't figured it out, right? So
And,
that's probably what I would tell her.
and just as you're writing in the mess, we're publishing in the mess. And we're we're still figuring it out as we go along. Even like I shared my chapter, Rochelle shared her chapter in the book too. If we wait until it's all nice and neat and tied up with a bow, you're never going to start. right?
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
got to start somewhere in that mess. A little bit selfishly, I would love to know, how was it that the support that we provided you through this process, how did that help you with sharing your story and telling it?
I mean, it was everything for me personally. I probably would not have finished the book if it wasn't for you. I think, Rachelle, you said something about your heart centered. And to me, I've used the word human, very human centered. Like Wildly Free is a very human centered experience. And I probably would have quit. And I'm not a quitter. I'm not a person who quits things. I really do see them through, but because of the mess that I'm still living a lot of it. And it's just having the community to go to and having also the prompting was really helpful without telling us what to say. You would never do that. I mean, never. And you wouldn't necessarily correct anything unless it was really improper grammar. I mean, you really have let us be free to share in our own voice, which is really powerful. And that was important to me. But at the same time, with the guidance was so helpful because I have a manifesting generator brain. I mean, I am going, going, going. I have 50 tabs open on my computer all the time, all the time. It's never ending. So, and I'm not like, it's not like I'm not diagnosed ADHD, but I think a lot of women and men in general can probably agree with this. We just have so many things going on. Even if you're not the type of person that has all the windows or all the files open, it's really hard to stay focused on one thing, especially when you have a story. Like, I mean, think about it. You're writing a story, it's one chapter, it's 3 to 5,000 words, but how do you distill that down? That's where Wildly Free really came in and reined it in for me. And it was truly everything. I mean, I've even said this, like, my book has to be published with you because I do have a bigger book that I want to publish, and I've been working on it for 10 years now. So I probably never would have published it if I have, and I know I'm going to, but I probably would never have even gotten to the point where I'd be like, okay, I'm actually going to sit down and start working on this. So I'm excited for the writer's circle coming. Yeah, Wildly Free has been everything for me, truly. I mean, you guys know this because I have shared so many accolades. It feels so weird to even say this to you now because I've shared this with you through emails, through text, through voice messages, all how much I appreciate you all. So, um, from everything from the prompts to even the marketing, which is something like I didn't even think I had to do. But to have Amy and the book cover, just the cover, like Amy doing this was amazing. Ashley Elizabeth and you, James, working together. Even the editing on the podcast, I don't know, is it your son, Rachelle, I think, who does the recording,
Yeah, my
right? He
son.
does all. I mean, it's just amazing to see the whole team bring it all together. It's just really, really powerful. So everybody's been so helpful, and I would definitely recommend, I do recommend y'all. So,
I know the saying is it takes a village to raise a child. It also takes a village to publish a book.
yep,
And we have
definitely.
had the most patient authors. And I love that we get to live by example of being in the messy middle of being publishers while you guys are in the messy middle of writing your stories and all of that. And it's kind of like just playing in the mud together. We're just figuring it out. Everything's figure outable, and just to be in that community and realize that we all get to meet each other authentically in that messy space together has just been such a beautiful blessing. You guys have been so inspiring. I told you all the other day that you inspired us to do the writer circle because in the other podcast, it was so abundantly clear that community was everything to you all, and community is everything to us. We don't want anybody to just be by themselves. And I think that, being in those spaces of like, I'm struggling. Oh my gosh, so am I. And hey, we're showing up together. And, just we developed like a tribe. And I think that, not only getting back to the basics with storytelling, and that's how, it's in our DNA. I say that all the time, but also getting back to developing tribes. We're so separated by the chaos of life. We're separated by distance. We're separated by different viewpoints or what have you. And I feel like this is a safe space that we're all creating, not just Wildly Free, but you guys are creating in the community of being authors and everything. Is just, let's get back to that building tribe. And it might look like a Zoom call, it might look like a Facebook Messenger or now in Teams or whatever, but creating those tribes and knowing that like we can always go back and that the journey's never over. And the journey, you all got to meet total strangers and do it together. And I think that there's just such beauty in that it wasn't like a group of friends, that it was a group of total strangers that got together for a common cause. And that's really what we need to get back to in life, in my opinion. So, well, you've been through the process of
Yes.
a cannabis book. And that's not all we're known for, but it's where we started. It was the start.
Mhm.
And we have this third book coming out, the third and final. We have 8 spots left. What would you tell somebody specifically about that space and why they should say yes to their story?
I think, in well, I have both books here. I just want to say, like, can you imagine? I'm just thinking for the person who's even just considering it, like, imagine your book gets to be the third. Like, I would say just do it, of course, is what I'm going to say. But besides that, you know, you don't have to be through your story to be worthy of being heard. Your story matters in the mess of the now. So I would say jump on it. If you're even feeling an inkling, that inkling is there for a reason. And a Rachel Woosley, she actually writes about inklings, right? Just saying, and she was, and I didn't know her until this book. So there's just so many people that have come into my life just from being a part of this. So I would say jump in. You just never know, where it's going to take you. And when I first was thinking about doing this book, and then I wasn't going to do the book, and then I did the book, and now the personal transformation that's happened from doing the book, I'm sitting here thinking, if even just one person reads this book, which I know it's already been more than one person, and they feel less alone and they feel seen, like then every single word, every little stress about a deadline or any one of those things that you might be concerned about, even considering doing a book, it's all worth it. So I would say just do it. Yeah. Just start, have a conversation, because maybe you want to do the last anthology. I think there's only like 8 spots left, right? If you wanted to do that, but you end up having a conversation with Rachelle or James and you figure out maybe it's not the right timing, maybe there's another book in the future for you. So it doesn't have to necessarily be you're reaching out and you're saying yes for sure. Maybe you're just having a conversation that might lead you someplace else. That's what I've learned the last 9 or 10 months is how many places you can go just from one decision, right? That's the stone dropping in the water, right? That's the ripple effect. So that's what it's all about for me. I know. I'm like, oh my God, I could just cry because
I mean,
I know we
selfishly,
have a book coming.
I'm so glad your chapter's kind of first because people like it's just so perfectly positioned and it sets the tone for the rest of the book. So many people start at the beginning of a book. This is a choose your own adventure kind of book, and all anthologies are that way. But there's something about you setting the tone in your chapter for the whole book. It was so, I just like, get chills thinking about it. So
Yeah,
there's
I know.
not a lot to
Goosebumps.
say when we like have those feelings, but
I know.
would you like to share anything else? This is your space and people are going to connect with you. Is there anything else you'd like to share on any part of the last, really, it's almost been a year at this
I
point.
know. Oh
We
my
had
gosh.
Rooted to Rise that came out last year in February. You all were watching us, all the things. Is there anything else you'd like to share in this space?
I mean, I haven't talked a lot about it on the podcast, and I only share it kind of briefly in my chapter, but in so many ways, this book really to me is not the end of a story, right? It's literally just the beginning. And the beginning for me is a beginning of helping other people remember themselves, because I really found myself again through writing this chapter, and through meeting the other individuals too. It wasn't just writing the chapter, it was the whole package. So I would just say, like, it really is like the book's not the end. Like, you don't just write the book and then that's the end. It's literally this whole remembering that happens. And that's the most powerful part. So that's just another nudge for people who are thinking about writing. I never saw myself as a writer. I mean, I used to write poetry when I was a kid, but that was about it. I left it for many, many years. I'm not even that great a reader, to be honest. But wow, it is so powerful. And I say, just do it. Yeah. Tell your story.
I love that. It's all about the invitation. And then just keep inviting, keep inviting, keep inviting, keep inviting. And eventually someone will feel that tug to accept the invitation.
Mhm.
And we're so grateful that you accepted the invitation. And
Thank you all.
no way I
Thank
was going to
you.
say no to you. I remember being in the parking lot of, my son's job, and about to pick him up, and we were just having those like the voice
Yeah.
messages, and you were like, I understand if it's a no, but da da da, and I was just like, Holly, there's no way I'm going to say no, and there we just do things differently at Wildly Free.
Mhm.
Sometimes it just takes a little nudge for the invitation to settle and for you guys to receive it. So I can't thank you enough for being a part of this. And our journey's not over.
That's
And
true.
I'm so glad you brought up the writer circle because that's probably going to be coming out sometime in July. And that's a space that is for everybody and anyone, and that it's just getting started. Maybe like being a part of an anthology is too intimidating or scary right now, whatever, but we're all about community at Wildly Free, and it's because of all of you guys. You just brought that to our hearts. So thank you so much. Well, if you have connected with Holly, please reach out to her. All of her information is going to be available to you down below on the podcast, wherever it is, wherever it lands. Please reach out. And if you'd like a personally signed copy of her book, please reach out to her. I'm sure her partner in crime of this, Michelle, one of the other authors, will be more than happy to sign the book as well. So you'll have two authors with the book, and they're just doing such amazing things. And so I really encourage you guys to like see what else they're doing in the spacing, the nursing spacing, the healthcare space. And it's just beautiful what they are putting out into the world. And they have this book as a platform on so many levels. So thank you all so much for listening. We're so excited to bring you more podcasts. And until next time, thank you, Holly.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.